Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for everyone, depending on what time you're hearing this. If you're even hearing it live or recorded. If you're pre-recorded, I swear I'll remove all the swearing we do in the middle. It's the PG-13 version. Welcome to another weekly AMA. We will try to resume many of the things that happened this week, so don't be surprised if you are one of those avid consumers that consumes every posted me and Matt do to have some stuff in repeat. But we are forced by contract, just kidding, to actually have to repeat everything that we did the week as a short version of it. Okay, so I'll begin since I'm already chatting here. We had a quite interesting Zealy this week, or these past weeks. We actually had 272 participants, which was quite exciting. I think it was if memory doesn't fail me, this was actually the biggest number of participants we ever had for any of our sprints. Yeah. Considering it was as usual, it's the usual sprints that normally last like around 2 weeks. I tend to try to start them on the day of an AMA and finish on the day before an AMA, and more or less it lasted 2 weeks. But it was quite intense. I'm quite happy that this time with the 10 winners, there wasn't tight scores all the way down. There were still tight scores, which it was laughable to say the least, because there were so many random stuff in there that should have avoided this, but you guys still managed to do it. So we had quizzes that the points would decrease as new versions of the quiz would come out. So if you failed the first time, if you tried the second time, you would actually get less points than if you were successful the first time. We had the battles as well, which were in total, there was 6 battles in there, and you were supposed to choose a fighter at the beginning. And somehow it ended up in a way that people still got points to end up in a draw. So we have the first place, which is cleared, and congratulations to the first place, which is Marcotai, and the 10th place, which is also clear, which is EKX, and EKX actually already opened a ticket today, and they already got their prize. So congratulations on that. And then so we're going to do the raffle of the other ones closer to the end of this MA, so as been established by the rules. And we also have the 2 extra winners from the top 100. So all that is ready, and when the time comes, I will pop in the typical wheel of names, and we'll decide the positions based on that. Beyond that, as you guys probably saw from one of my announcements, we are branching out, so to speak, and we are reaching out to some other platforms. And one of them is our friend here, DappRadar. And DappRadar is just listed as today, so now they're slowly populating the stats in terms of unique wallets and stuff like that. According to the email I got from them, it may take up to 48 hours before the info on their end is actually accurate. And DappRadar is just one of a couple of other platforms. I can give you a couple of names. None of them are for sure, because I'm still applying for them and negotiating with them for them to list us. But we have D-Game, we have 2 websites which have a very similar name, and they're actually the small ones of the batch, which is Play to Earn and then Play to Earn Games. They're very similar. They're the smallest ones. And we have Cap Games, and one of the ones that I'm as excited as I was with DappRadar, so DappRadar was a big victory, is Hyperplay. And the reason why I'm very excited with the Hyperplay one is because they're actually connected to the MetaMask portfolio, which is literally a list of curated games that appear in the MetaMask game store. So if we can get Meme Kombat into Hyperplay, it's basically one step away from appearing in the MetaMask portfolio. As you can imagine, that is a big thing. And I think that is it from my side. So I'll pass on the mic to Matt.
All right. Thanks for the update, Hermes. From a development side, we have the updated version that I spoke about during last week's AMA is essentially all ready. We've done some internal testing, and that identified a bug that was needing to be fixed, and that's been repaired. And so now I'm just waiting for final confirmation from the developers on when that will shift from our testing environment to the production environment for everyone else to see. So I'm anticipating that at some point this week, hopefully or earlier in the week, we will see this updated version. I think it'll have a good impact on the community. You guys will, always interested and enjoy seeing updates to the platform, but then also from a visual effects standpoint, it'll also add a little bit more variety and I think a little bit more excitement to the gameplay as well. So looking forward to that hitting. And I'm sure that probably what will happen is that we'll get an advance notice about probably an hour or so to let you know that it's coming, mostly just because there will be the need to do a hard refresh if you have the application open and you're playing it. So short of that, things have been progressing. Obviously, the market conditions right now are not great and kind of getting worse by the hour, at least for this week. But as we all know in this space, that can change on the at a moment's notice. So for as of right now, we're just kind of heads down doing the work. And then obviously, as like Hermes had updated you guys, things have been moving forward on that front administratively, and then on documentation wise. Hermes, I don't know if you want to update them on some of those updates that have happened.
It's your glory, but if you want me to be the voice of God, I can be metronome, no problem there. So I was actually opening. It was a good time because I was actually opening because I realized I didn't have that tab open, but I can do it now. Give me 1 second to share the screen again. Just make sure I share the correct one. I want you guys to see the word stuff I'm watching online. There you go. Okay, so one of the things you guys keep pestering us is the white paper. Guess what we did? We've done. No, I mean, I'm joking. We updated the white paper. So the white paper, there was a couple of things that needed to be updated. There was like information that was still from season 1. There was information that wasn't accurate anymore. So we updated. I am gonna ask you guys. If you spot anything, feel free to ping me or Matt about it. So the main things, there are a couple of updates across all these things. Matt was kind enough to ask me to have a look at some of the things that changed in case he missed something. I didn't have to add much, to be honest. So we do have now how to play an how to play area, which you was asked before. It does mention season 1. There we go. And it also mentions season 2. It's a very short version of what the content is in those seasons. And the other thing that I know you guys want to have a look is under here, I think. No, what is here? Because I'm blind. Right there. Okay, it's the roadmap. So we've marked when they have been completed. We assume that we did not do the Q2 as Q3. So no one said we'd be lying about the dates. And there is now a plan for future development for 2024 and 2025. As you notice, there is no longer Q quarters marked anywhere, as this was not something we've learned. We learned.
We will be making efforts to make this far more concise, as we've mentioned in previous AMAs. Once we get more clarification internally on the expectations for ourselves around these deliverables. So right now, like Hermes was just alluding to, it's very high level, 24, 25. But as we, in the weeks and months ahead, we will drill down and will be more concise. And this is not an exhaustive list for the remainder of 24 and 25. We will, be adding to this as like a living document. So we'll be continuing to add to this and make modifications to it. Those modifications should just be coming in the form of clarification, not necessarily pushing things out. So,
yeah. This is live, by the way, so if you after the AMA, how long after the AMA, don't do it now, especially if you're driving. You can have a look and check if everything's there that you missed. I already saw someone asking, where's the team section? That will be updated soon, I hope. That's the only thing that we missed, but instead of waiting for that part to be updated, we decided, okay, let's push everything that's there already, and then we can update the team one. And like Matt says, this is a living document, so as more things come up, we'll carry on updating it. The other thing that got updated was the bot. that last week someone mentioned that it was still a bit confused about the seasons. So we've been feeding it more info, and after we fed some more info, you guys went there and you tormented the poor bot, and you still got a bit confused about some things. So we fed them some more information. So right now it should be able to distinguish between season 1 and season 2. If we realize it's still causing some confusion in the poor AI bot, because AI bots do have their limitations, unfortunately, we might just remove the information about season 1 completely. So we just mentioned there is a season 1 and lost it from here to here, and all the information will be about the current game, which is season 2. But so far it seems to be resistant, although it seems like every time I say this, you guys go in there and you discover new faults with the bot. So I'm not saying anything for sure anymore.
AI behaving badly.
Bad, but bad. Okay, I think that is it in terms of updates, unless Matt forgot to tell me something else that he wanted to talk about.
No, I think that in terms of updates, I'm sure that the rest of it will get covered with any sort of questions that come in. But I know that there is a jingle on its way. And
I was going to say that there's a hand there on the air, but I need to open up something before. I was very disappointed because Discord has this thing called the soundboard, but the soundboard doesn't work on stages. So I was very disappointed. I was here earlier, so I'll have to do this the old way. I'll call someone up to the stage, but I'll have to play this first.
Now the moment you've all been waiting for. That thud-fighting, tenacious Texan, it's time, Bandit time! Oh, man. My cheesiness knows no bounds.
I hope that was hearable enough. I'll pop this into the journal chat later if anyone wants to, have the pleasure of rehearing it. But yeah, our time bandit made his own jingle as we requested last week. So yeah, Alain, if you come on stage, you need to up your show now. You clearly need the jingle as well.
Now this is now a minimum requirement. This is a baseline standard to talk on stage.
Oh, Lord. How y'all doing?
Not too bad.
Good. Hey, I've been playing the game and watching it a lot. Real smooth. It looks like it's good. No breakdowns, Hermes. That's awesome. I'm saying it.
I'm always afraid when I write it on the devlog. No. It's like, it's been 2 weeks in a row. So far the curse hasn't come back, but you never know.
You're probably trembling while you type that one. But yeah, it's really good. The only thing I have concern about is the number of players. It's not changed at all. Well, from 609, I think, to 607 or something like that. But it's always around 600. Is there a plan other than mass marketing to get that number up?
Well, I mean, I think that there's a lot of factors that play into that, time bandit. Obviously, when there's market support for this type of a gaming platform, people will flock to to whatever's out there. I think that right now the current market conditions don't really support a lot of people out speculating and playing on Web3 game platforms like this. There's a lot, especially for instance, like this week, there's a lot of people that are kind of running scared, dashing all of their tokens into stable coins and just kind of hunkering down, waiting for the next green candles to present themselves. So, I mean, I'm not anticipating that we're going to see a flood of new users this week from any marketing conditions or marketing endeavors that we undertake, with the exception of maybe some of these things that Hermes had highlighted at the very beginning of the call. And those are really just things that, we can attempt to influence as much as possible. But, the data always does show that, under extraneous market conditions like we're experiencing as of today, it's really difficult to get any sort of new player acquisitions or to get new people onboarded onto the platform.
I've got a... Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I should probably. I'll just go ahead and end it there. We'll let you speak.
I've got an idea about that, and take it as you will, but I think that with our staking rewards, we should capitalize majorly on a down market. Because why, if we advertise, why would you want to put your money in a stable coin when you could put your money in MK, stake it, and make money in a down market?
Yeah, I mean that is true. But I mean the only caveat that I would put to that is that a lot of platforms also offer staking opportunities, albeit far lower APY, but offer staking opportunities with passive rewards for stable coins as well. So it's it's staking and staking rewards is not so much of a just like the end all be all. But now, with that being said, I think that the value proposition for anyone that comes looking for a project to sink into, MK, I think has a good value proposition. And right now, the price is sitting at, I would think, a very attractive price. And then you couple that with the staking rewards. Yeah.
I think, yeah, MK is very undervalued right now. I mean, it is compared to what it should be. And I understand the market's a lot to do with it, and I also understand that our exposure and we're new and all that. But I really press the APY on people that I know and talk to that. There's nothing out there that offers that much that I found that's decent. That's not just a rug pull speculation.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of new projects that launch, and it seems like staking is very common these days. And some of those do offer some pretty insane, very attractive high APYs for recently launched staking pools. But again, it's I think that what sets MK apart is how established it is, the longevity of it, and even though it, in my personal opinion, is currently undervalued for sure. The fact that the project remains, the project's active, building is still occurring, improvements are still being made. I think that anybody who takes that type of deep dive or look into the project will see the value there.
Yeah, it's when is the 1 year anniversary of our staking pool?
It's actually coming up. It's coming up later this month.
Also,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which
is crazy.
That should be one of the things that's pressed, is that, hey, we've been around for a whole year. That's a long time in this business sometimes.
It's a lifetime, in some respects for this. Yeah. We have I think as of today, like 28 days. It looks like the staking pool reaches its 1 year date right around October 1st. So,
well, that's a good day. That's my mother's birthday.
Hot dang. Mama Bandit.
Yeah, I tell you, she's worse than I am. But yeah, well, hey, that's all I got. I mean, it's like I said, going smooth. No breakdowns. I think the internal, what y'all brought internal instead of having it outsourced was probably one of the best moves you've ever made.
Yeah, I mean we're always constantly making adjustments to the game engine, as well as the back end mechanics of it. With every stress test that we had, especially during season 1, learned a number of things about how what operates optimally for the platform under the anticipated running conditions with people using it and placing wagers and things like that. Some of the things I think that really demonstrate some of the visual improvements that people have now been able to use is like the inclusion of the ability to adjust slippage so that we're not getting so many failed bets. I know that was rubbing people the wrong way. So having that now as part of it, as well as just some of these things that people can't see that during season 1 were leading to some downtime, having those now eliminated or shored up. It's very helpful, and we're always obviously going to be seeking to increase and improve our uptime. And so now having a testing environment that's completely separate from our production environment, which is pretty standard development stuff, but we were always just kind of racing and chasing expectations. So now having that, we instead of having to deploy and test in a live production environment, this last update that we were going to be pushing that would have presented an issue for all users, we've mitigated that during testing, and now we can put it to production live with full confidence that we won't see any downtime as a result of it.
Well, I mean, I know it's nerve wracking for you, especially with all this. You're gonna have to let the dogs out someday, bud.
Yeah. Yes, I think I know what you mean by that.
Yeah, you gotta let them hunt.
That's right.
That's an old Texas thing too. Gotta let the dogs hunt. But yeah. Hey, I'm done. Y'all keep up the good work, and I'll see you in the arena and next week.
All right, same time next week.
See you next time. Okay, we have someone else wanting to ask a question. It is Marcotai. At least that's how I read that name. Pretty sure I'm reading it wrong. Okay, well, Marcotai decides whether if he joins us or not. I shall read one of the questions. It has been 3 weeks since said on the AMA that the devs are working on phone optimizations. Any chances to activate the work in progress message we talked about that prevents crashing on phones, mainly iOS, so we don't scare any potential newcomers by non-welcoming Arena on their devices? If I would be the person who just discovered Meme Kombat and opened the Arena on my iPhone and got an instant white page, I wouldn't bother to learn more and definitely not invest. So the question is basically what's going on with the iOS warning message and with the iOS issues.
Yeah, I mean, so there is some comprehensive work going into optimizing the platform that eliminates specifically the crashing issue, which is obviously mostly attributed to just how data hungry the MK platform is currently right now. So depending on the health of your device, the age of it, which version of iOS you're using, and then also your connectivity, either via Wi-Fi or other, all has a profound effect on the way that the platform performs on your mobile device. There are some people that are able to utilize it on iOS, and it works perfectly fine. And then there's others that have reported that it's completely unusable. And I think that there's just a kind of like a wide gap in between of people that have suffered performance or diminished performance based off of again the age, the health of their device, as well as their connectivity. So we're looking at ways that we can like holistically address that one core issue instead of trying to address all of the individual issues. And that is essentially reducing or eliminating the data load on the end user's device, which is tricky and it's difficult to do. But there is ways. It's just it's not a quick and easy patch job. It's there's a lot of building that goes into doing that. So that work is being processed. It's just I don't have an ETA yet on when you guys could expect that, but we will keep you informed as new implementations come out. So the one that we're looking for coming out here shortly, we'll give you in the devlog a highlight of the additional features and the additions. And then we'll just kind of look to continue to report out on what sort of improvements and fixes and updates that we produce over time. But as of right now, the site is performant in a desktop version, which was the original targeted version, but it's obviously not lost on the team from a development perspective that a lot of our users are utilizing handhelds, mobile devices, both iOS and Android. So we are definitely working on it.
Okay, Marcotai finally came up to the stage. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm all right. Do you hear me?
I can
Yeah.
hear you fine. Stage is all yours.
Okay. Yeah, my question was about iOS, Apple like that. But okay, Matt just answered it. So next question was because I believe many people want to know. It's gonna like marketing. It's gonna be like in the pre-sale when the market is gonna be better than right now. It's gonna be like the same. You're gonna see like a marketing, like a pump up MK, like we saw before in the pre-sale. Just my question.
Yeah, I mean,
A
so
lot
our
of
marketing.
people, a lot of people gonna go. I barely wanna hear this question, this answer.
Yeah, I mean, so like I've mentioned before, our marketing efforts are really focused on user and player acquisition, not so much on doing price pumping or speculative price management for the token itself. The token is utilized in the Meme Kombat ecosystem, but the game itself, the platform itself, is really what we're looking to highlight and what we're looking to promote. And so with engagement of new users and onboarding of new users to the platform itself, should have an impact on the token's price and valuation. But in terms of the volume of or the level of marketing, as I've mentioned in like I think almost every AMA prior to this one, we're very much focused on looking at the ROI, the return of the investment for marketing, and with the appropriate marketing conditions and the ability to do actual user acquisition, we will fund and source marketing to whatever extent makes sense. I firmly believe right now that with the current market conditions, we could spend $1 million and see just just a marginal increase and possibly even just a token price depreciation just because of just the way that people are looking to accumulate right now, not so much invest. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just to to make sure that someone unleashed to keep the price. I mean the token price. I mean like stable because my scare. Like I think everyone afraid that maybe it's going so much down that in any case it's not gonna recover anymore. Just some plan, like a plan B, to do something about to not put MK price, like pull down so much that everyone is gonna go something like that.
yeah, I mean, I can't really comment on other people's investing or buying and selling behaviors. When the conditions are such that they are, like for instance today, when the price of Ethereum, which is the pairing for MK token, that benchmark valuation of Ethereum drops precipitously. Like the drop today was, not insane, nothing that we haven't seen before. But whenever there is a steep decline on any given day, people will sell. They'll liquidate tokens. They'll do things to save their assets and resources. And we don't really have any control over that. When the market conditions change, then they buy back, they reinvest, they look for projects that are on the upswing. It's if you zoom out and you look at crypto in general as well as individual projects, you'll notice that focusing on token price and valuation on an hour by hour, day by day basis is is enough to make you go crazy. If you zoom out and you look at the long-term valuation of things, then I think that it's a much healthier way to live. That's my own personal belief. Doesn't mean that I require anybody else to feel that way. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Great. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for joining us up here.
Okay. All right.
Oops, sorry. My finger on the didn't want to cut you halfway, so I apologize for that, Marcotai. Okay, shall go into more written questions. So there's a question about the staking contract. So it says the staking contract is ending in September. Is the current staking contract ending September 21st? Any updates on what it's come? Is the arena profitable enough to support staking? Two-part question for you. I know you love those.
Staking was baked into the original tokenomics. Staking will continue. We already have this under control from a development side and from a technical support side. So staking will continue, and we are also tying additional marketing material around the refurbishment of our staking protocol. So that will be obviously more to come on that later in the month. I'm not sure on the date that was just quoted in that question, but because that date is doesn't seem accurate to me, so I don't know if they're maybe referring to something else. But with that being said, staking will continue on the MK platform, and there will be some obvious adjustments to the APY in the form of something I think that people will appreciate.
Yeah, so this connects to what you were talking about last week of when the change happens. We'll warn everyone a few weeks before it happens. Hopefully, the best case scenario will be you guys won't have to do anything. Everything's done on our side. But if there's anything that needs to happen, we'll broadcast it via the usual channels. So don't expect me to DM you or anything like that. If I do, it's a scam. Okay.
Correct.
Next question, and I know there's been a couple of questions in the chat, but let me go through the VC questions first, and then I'll go to the chat ones. Trying to figure out where the question is here because you guys write at will sometimes. Okay, following the launch of season 2, investors and prospective investors are left with a number of concerns and questions. We've been watching with interest, accepting that there is little benefit to words or actions that are simply FUD. It is a fair question to ask. What has changed from 1 week ago? If you know what this means, I kind of got lost in this text. I'll be honest.
What? So just
they had something else. So they say the community on Telegram and Discord have been very supportive of the ongoing fixes. The promises and distraction of the marketing team have had little effect. The lackluster response to marketing and the decline in our investing value cap have reflected in the declining interest of the project. So I'll repeat the question. What has changed from 1 week ago? What can we expect to have changed by next week?
I mean, these are very...
yeah, it's similar to the question we just got from Marcotai, I think.
Yeah, I mean, these are, very short, very focused questions around specific times. So obviously what's changed from last week is our development team has been working towards the next release, testing, making sure that it works. So from a development standpoint, the team has been working on that. The marketing team continues to provide updates on socials, putting in the work there, as well as pouring over the data from the marketing teams that we coordinate with externally on what sort of engagement that we're getting for the marketing spends for the dollars being expended. Yeah, in terms of what changes between this week and next week, we'll just continue to show up every single day and do the work that we're doing. If the question is looking for a very specific, a very succinct response of what we're going to do to improve from last week to next week, I'm not really in a position to onboard that level of expectation. I mean, we show up every single day and we do our jobs, we do the work. We're still here, we're still putting effort in. So for anyone who is not pleased at the level of performance, I sincerely apologize for not meeting expectations, but we're going to continue to push forward. And we don't have any control over the entire Web3 market and those market conditions. Brand new projects, in some instances do well. Long-standing projects have a far greater challenge when it comes to price movement, to apprising people of change, value propositions. It's not the same as a brand new project. So we're doing what we can. We're making, moves in the direction that we think are appropriate and would make the most sense. And that's what we're going to continue to do.
Okay, moving into other subjects. I'm going to read this one because I just read it while you were answering it. I thought the intro was funny. I won't even ask how much the arena pool is compared to last week because I don't want to spook the new players from playing the arena. But watching the trends, I know Casino is rolling in huge profits. Wrong. We actually lost tokens this week. Now it's kind of funny. I've been having fun seeing the numbers, to be honest. Because last week we increased the amount that we earn, and that was a 6-digit value. But then this week, you guys actually ended up profiting at the end because it was more towards the players. It was a 5-digit one, but still. But then I was actually looking into some of the stats that I got shown, and like the biggest loser from last week, let's put it that way, the person that lost most tokens last week, actually ended up earning this week. So yeah, it varies a lot with the luck. So the system obviously is made in a way that the pool doesn't get reduced very much. There are weeks that we like increase the pool. There's weeks where the pool gets reduced a little bit. But yeah, it is very luck based. I mean, there's weeks that you guys are more lucky. There's weeks that you're less lucky. So the question they have for the MA is NFT integration. Any updates?
I mean,
Not sure if you want to divulge anything.
Yeah, I mean, from last week's update, no, there's no change. And I'm happy to answer the same question week over week. But we're still eyeballing NFT integration for what we're dubbing season 2.5. In terms of providing a launch date for that, not going to do that at this time. Mostly just for Hermes, well-being, mentally, physically, and otherwise.
You should see how they got excited today just because on the devlog there was one line that said currently working on the NFT integration. And it's like, oh, work is being done. No, it means it's almost finished. Like I had to explain to some of you guys. No. Work being done doesn't mean it's done. It just means someone on the team was working on it and then trying out things
Right.
and applying even sometimes the most basic stuff on it. Okay. It's just because you guys want updates, so I need to give you updates on what's being worked on. But the same update might mean massive thing, or it might mean just a little few hours of the week were focused on that.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of tributary work platform-wise that has to happen. That a lot of work has already gone into that, but it's not complete yet. And so once we get to that point, and we're confident and we've tested it, we will announce a launch date for that, that milestone level functionality. And we will again, because I know that the next question around that will be, well, when are you going to market around it? So like I've mentioned in many of the previous AMAs, and we'll continue to mention it week over week, that as we have major milestones and major additions to the platform, we will use that as a basis for marketing and outreach for new user, new player acquisition, which adds substantial value to the platform. So we will do that.
Next question. I can actually answer this one, so I'll give you some rest time. We have applied to be mentioned on why apply, if I can read it, why apply to be mentioned in DappRadar if the iOS support is not ready? Well, let's put it this way. You guys complain that we don't apply for stuff. If we apply for stuff, you guys complain. I mean, it's one or the other, right? So the reason why we're applying for all these gaming platforms at the moment is precisely so we can have more people looking into it and like I mentioned at the beginning, like for example, DappRadar will take at least 2 days before the information that's on them is actually correct. Some of these guys take, after I applied for the beginning of the approval, a little got reply saying this will take at least 2 weeks before we get back to you. So yeah, we need to apply with time in advance. The only reason I hadn't done, or the team hadn't done this before, was because season 2 wasn't out. So don't want to apply for something while the arena was down. But now the arena's up, even without iOS, we need to start applying for these things. The other reason is after we are listed in these game platforms, we can actually begin some partnerships. I'm not going to mention names. I know that some of you guys have been asking for partnerships, what we're doing in terms of partnership. I'm not going to mention names for the simple reason that it has happened in the past that we initiated partnerships. There was one that I actually mentioned a couple of weeks ago that I was actually talking with someone in the team saying that I might give up on them because it has reached the point of we've had everything ready on our side for 2 weeks now, and they pretty much have been ghosting us, which is kind of annoying. So we have been working on some partnerships. When they are final and for sure, they get announced, and that will improve the visibility of Meme Kombat. Until then, we can try our best, and not much more can be done there. I like the next question. You're gonna like this one as well, Matt. White paper update when?
Oh, how about right now?
Right now, there you go. See that we like these questions. Short answer. The iOS status has been already mentioned before. So the team got Ethereum during the pre-sale, or at least some part of it. Was this staked to generate some API, or was it swapped to stable coins already? So the question is basically because they said if it was still Ethereum and it had been staked, there'd been a large amount of profit from it after almost 6 months.
No, there wasn't any significant portion of the presale proceeds that were staked or speculated with. It was all, generally speaking, over the course of the presale, converted to stablecoin for safety as well as for storage.
Okay. So there's like less one. Volume is non-existent for Meme Kombat right now. Wouldn't it be wise to pay for some Web3 trending to get volume? If the Web2 marketing is on the whole, well, we pretty much do Web3 marketing, and barely any Web2 marketing is the goal here. We're too Web3, unfortunately, for that part. Prices for trending should not exceed the rewards that they got from staked Ethereum, which Matt just mentioned isn't. So yeah, basically the question is, are we interested in paying for some form of Web3 trending? I'm guessing they mean in like some listing platforms and stuff like that.
I mean, we're not above doing trending. We've done trending sites in the past. Most notably, like closer to back when we did the token launch. And we've actually tried it subsequent to around the token launch time once or twice with little to almost no impact. I believe the last time that we did a trending platform was Telegram based, and we actually noted for a 24-hour period almost zero impact. And so there's a kind of like a belief on the part of some of the individuals on the team that these trading platforms offer no value in today's current market conditions. The tricks or the concepts that proved fruitful in years past in other markets, those don't necessarily translate to today's markets. There's it's a different environment. So. But no, we're not above that, especially if other projects are seeing any sort of value or return on investment for that. We're open to anything that has a return on the investment for the project and for all the community that supports the project. What we're really hesitant or adverse to is just blindly throwing darts in the dark hoping that it hits something of value. That's not really a direction that we support. So
I can tell you guys from personal experience, I've seen many projects doing that, just tossing money every direction, hoping something would stick, and then eventually reach a point where there's no money to manage the project anymore, because things cost money, personnel, servers, everything, and then the project just collapsed, which is something that we're definitely avoiding here as much as we can, as proven by the fact that the project has been running or the staking has been running for almost a year now. The arena has been running for 6 months. So yeah, like Matt has mentioned several times, this is a long-term project, not something that we want in the short to do like 2-3 months and then disappear. Okay, there is one question here about YouTube influencers. Where are the YouTube influencers that we've been told are playing and testing already?
I mean, there's been from my understanding, there's been a number of YouTube influencers that have reached out and have tested the platform. Quite honestly, that the majority of the YouTube influencers that we have been approached by or engaged with have very unconvincing follower counts. They have platforms that have 4, 5, 6, 700,000 followers. But when it comes to their actual engagement, their user engagement, as well as new user acquisitions, their accounts aren't very convincing in terms of actual legitimate users. My personal belief, which this is not, I defer to the marketing team for this, but all I've challenged them to do is to do their due diligence and to look for examples. Any YouTube influencer that is worth the money that they're asking for and trying to command for their services should have no difficulty whatsoever providing real-world examples of their value. Their value being that I was paid to promote this project, and I did that, and this was the outcome. This was the result of that. And so far to date, nearly all have been incredibly hesitant to prove their value or any sort of experience at which they've derived significant value for a project for the amount of funds that they attempt to charge, which is absolutely bananas, I think, in some cases. So.
Because every time there's an article or we get in the platform or anything like that, they tend to reach out to us by the tickets in the Telegram. So I see some of the prices, and I can tell you, I think the most shocking one I saw was someone that was asking for $8,000 for a retweet. They weren't even posting anything; they were just retweeting it, and they were asking for $8,000.
Right.
Yes, that's 3 zeros after the 8 for pressing one button. I definitely need to change my career. I mean, if someone's actually making $8,000 per retweet.
No, and then you go and you
Okay,
actually look.
Right. Let me handle this because I just looked at the chat and now that everyone's panicking after your last reply. So it says, so Meme Kombat didn't approach anyone. Oh, so it was a bullshit promise. No, it wasn't a bullshit promise. We did reach out to some YouTubers. Apparently, some of them. Can you greet me? Hi, Don Corleone. You guys make me weird things. Some of them obviously weren't good enough to justify what we were paying for that. Others either didn't reply or the marketing team just decided afterwards that something wasn't right there. I've seen channels basically reaching out to us, and I'm gonna go and check the channel the next day, and the channel's gone. And so yeah, something dodgy happened in there. The YouTube channels don't get nuked for no good reason.
Yeah, exactly. So we're coming up on 50 minutes in, so we'll probably do one more question before we wrap up.
Yes, Fighter Renegade. We're gonna get Coffee. I think CoffeeZilla is now busy with Logan Paul, but I might be wrong. And I don't think CoffeeZilla will be very happy promoting a Web3 project. I don't even know who Crypto Zombie is. Well, I'll have a look after. But I'm guessing it's CoffeeZilla style. But yeah, to be honest, I'll be completely honest. I would have no problem with CoffeeZilla covering this. That would be great. I actually love CoffeeZilla, and I tend to watch his channel and watch his videos. and we would have nothing to hide from CoffeeZilla or his team, unlike most of the people that he researches. Oh, this is a question that actually popped up a couple of times, which is updates on the arena are coming with some aesthetic improvements. Currently in testing. Is this still in testing mode or much in launching mode? I think you already answered this earlier, didn't
Yep,
you?
that was actually, I think, the first thing that I addressed on the AMA today. Yeah.
Okay, let's just have a quick peruse through the questions and see if there's something that we haven't covered. So there's a question about for the new staking, if you guys need to do anything or if you can just let it stake. So far, Matt can correct me, the information we have is you guys don't have to do anything, and that's the goal. If something happens, like I mentioned before, we will notify you guys, ping you everywhere and anywhere about it. But ideally is you don't have to do anything, and everything's done on our end. Someone asks, is it possible to pay for listings? I know the answer, but I'll let Matt answer that one, and I'll explain later when I'm laughing.
Yeah, go ahead, Hermes.
Okay. So it is. The answer is yes. Are they good listings? No, they're absolutely rubbish. I mean, I've seen some of the exchanges that reached out to us, which immediately say, "Oh yeah, you just need to." The first sentence normally tends to be, "Luckily, we're doing a promotion," which is always a good sign, right? The first sentence being this, and you just need to give us X amount of thousands of dollars, and we'll list you. It's not even for liquidity; it's literally money for them, and that's it. Yeah, it is possible to pay for listings, but I don't think we want to pay for any listing that shows up at the moment, or at least not any listing that reaches out to the DMs. We actually want to be the ones reaching out to them, and so we do homework, so to speak. There is a question about marketing. I think it was after the conversation you were having with Marcotai, which is, in the past, we've heard the marketing will be similar to the pre-sale and full of fireworks and buzzing energy. Is this not happening anymore?
I feel like I've answered this.
Matt's loving me today. We're asking you all your questions. If I disappear after the AMA, it's your fault.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I've said, I think like in the last 4 AMAs in a row, and we'll continue to maintain this, that we're going to engage in marketing activities that make sense, that the data supports a return on the investment. That may or may not look like what had occurred in the presale. Now, if you're talking in terms of volume, if there's a market that is receptive and willing to engage, then absolutely it'll be at that volume. If the market is, as it exists, like for instance today, where it doesn't matter how much marketing you do, you're not going to get any sort of return on investment or user acquisition, then it doesn't make sense to flood the market right now with a bunch of marketing materials that won't result in any sort of appreciative gains on any level for the project. So it's not a simple cut and dry yes or no, 1 or 0 response. And that's my position, and I still maintain that.
Someone asked now. Okay, you guys enjoy me repeating the same things, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to repeat this, even though it's on the recording, and because I tend to have the checkbox, which is so no current conversation with quality listings. Yes, there are current conversation quality listings. What I said is no, we're not paying for any listing that just reach out to us just for the sake of they reached out to us. Because the question was if it's possible to pay for listings, and yes, it is possible to pay for listings. You'll see projects that are listed in exchanges that I never heard in my entire life, to be honest. Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to understand your questions, Luko, but I'm not sure if I understand that, so I might have to reach out to you afterwards. Okay. Matt, thank you very much for your time. I know you have other subjects to attend to. As promised, I'll do the raffles now. I just realized that I did forget to mention something which one of you guys did, and I had asked them for permission to show it off, which is this beautiful Instagram page. Essentially, because now I know that our Brazilian members can't use Twitter anymore, so off to Instagram with you guys and Facebook, I'm guessing. So Miko has made this Meme Kombat fan art page. He reached out to us and he told us about it. I need to give a think about how we can support him the most. We'll make some posts about it and everything. But yeah, if you were interested and you want to support Miko with his page, just go over to the link. I'll pop it into the community news in a bit. And we truly appreciate when you guys do these gestures without us asking for anything. It is very heartwarming. Now, the other thing you guys want is this thing, Zealy. Okay, I'll start with the 2nd to 4th place. So first name will be the second name will be the 3rd place, and the last one will be the 4th place, as we usually do. So the 2nd place for the Zealy competition was, or is going to be, Cloud Sky. I'm telling you before the thing even pops yet, because it's not going to move much more. So Cloud Sky is number 2 in the Zealy competition, and number 3 will be Cappy, which means Tag, or as you know, Luko, because it's probably the only 2 names I knew it was just these 2, is 4th place. Now for 5th to 9th place, which also had the same score. So 5th place we have I just realized what this is gonna sound when I read UTI is the 5th place. Sixth place is Ivar the Bunless. 7th place goes to John V. And the 8th place goes to Nightcrawler. Very fancy name. Which means the last place is to RWG Sun. I hope I haven't assassinated your name, so I do apologize in advance. And now the 2 extra winners out of the top 100. So these are 2 winners that each one of them will win 200 MK. You have King 13 as one of the winners. And the second winner of the random top 100 is Moses OTH. Congratulations. I'll ping the winners. Thank you very much for participating on Zealy. Thank you very much for being part of this AMA. And hope to see you guys next week.